Hey guys, Ogalbina here, bringing you guys our APA Little Cup Wi-Fi Season 4 Week 8 battle against TPB Robinizer and his Daytona Tirtougas. Now, Rob is a very good Little Cup player. If you haven't caught our Season 3 run of APA Little Cup Wi-Fi, he actually not only knocked us off in Week 1 of the season, but he also handed us an L in finals, being our only 2 losses of the season and the first and final game of the season. So I'd love to get my revenge on him, but Rob is a great player, in the format. He not only did great and had an awesome Cinderella story in being the bottom seed in playoffs, going all the way through to knock me off in the finals, being the top seed, but he's performed great in subsequent Little Cup leagues and tours such as Clash of Kings and APA Legacy and things like that, where he performed very solid as well. So we definitely have our work cut out for us. I'd love my revenge, but we're gonna have to make sure that we play it correctly. But before I jump into that, I do want to mention that only a good 40 to 50% of you guys that are watching the videos each and every time they come out are actually subscribed to the channel. So if you haven't done so already, please go ahead and hit that sub button for me. It's completely free. It's very easy, and it lets me know you're enjoying what I'm doing. You can always change your mind later if you end up, not enjoying what you're, getting in your sub box every day. But yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump on into a quick little team matchup and team builder, just so you can see what we're bringing and why we're bringing it, so you have that background knowledge going into the match. So our team, if you did forget, consists of Vullaby, Salandit, Snover, Baltoy, Yamask, Dreepy, Chinchou, Binacle, Eevee, and Cubchoo, while our opponent's team consists of Abra, Zorua, Cottony, Krabby, Corphish, Larvitar, Tyrogue, Shelmet, Bergmite, and Clefin. Now, Rob's rocking out with the double crab claw, the Plas special, honestly. Very scary versus me. While I have a great check to it in my Chinchou, Chinchou gets overwhelmed by this team. It can definitely get overwhelmed, especially if it's used to check a Corphish. It takes a big +1 knock off a Dragon Dance or something like that. Then Krabby can be very scary and vice versa. So we're going to have to be very careful on how we play around those two big threats, because if one does sufficient damage to Chinchou, the other can, really go to town. Abra is always very scary. Life Orb kind of claims the kill versus me if he clicks the right button. Sash is a great, just revenge killer in this matchup as well. Psychic plus Dazzling Gleam just hits my entire team ridiculously hard, so we're gonna have to be careful about that as well. And other than that, I think we can handle mostly everything. A Zorua could be very annoying, whether it be Swords Dance or Nasty Plot, but I think we have the pieces to potentially deal with it. And yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump on into our first mon, which is going to be Vullaby, rocking out the Choice Scarf this week. Weak Armor is its ability, Brave Bird, Knockoff, Dual Wing Bee, and U-Turn. Now, this thing is here to be a great potential endgame win con, be a nice safety blanket versus his Double Crab core, and being, having a higher speed tier, being able to revenge them if they ever do get up to +1. Obviously, Krabby is going to be agility, not Dragon Dancing, so we will have to be careful about that thing, but it's a good insurance policy versus the Corphish. It is a great revenge killer. The Abra Dual Wing Beat pretty much always knocks that thing out. We basically need a min roll to not kill that thing with the 2-hit move, and that's obviously great if it is Sash. If not, Brave Bird, Knockoff, and U-Turn hit his team very hard. The only thing that really takes the flying stab is going to be Larvitar, which kind of forces it to come, in my opinion, but I have a lot of things that really take advantage of that thing. So I think if we can force U-Turns, get in for free with other members on our team, we can actually set up for a pretty solid Vullaby endgame where we can click, just Brave Bird or Knockoff and clean sweep through the team. Next up, we have Newt, the Eviolite Snover. Snow Running is its ability, Blizzard, Substitute, Ice Shard, and Giga Drain. This Pokemon actually rips my opponent. Its dual stabs go absolutely insane versus my opponent. We can sub down on potential switches. We can sub down on a Cottony pretty easy. We can sub down on Bergmite depending on what his moveset is, if it doesn't want to stay in versus us. We can sub down on a water type switching, something like that. And honestly, Blizzard plus Giga Drain just rips through my opponent's team. Ice Shard is great for priority and picking off a weakened Cottony and picking off a weakened Abra or breaking its Sash or something like that. Or any, other potential scary mons if they get chipped down enough. Even like a Krabby or a Corphish, if they get chipped down very low, and our best way of revenging them is Ice Shard plus Hail, it gives us that backup option if we really need it, and we know they have like a superpower that'll knock us out. So I think that Newt is actually very good this game offensively, and pretty solid as a defensive pivot as well, giving us a backup check to those scary water types where we'll pretty much always guaranteed live a hit from those two things before they boost up, which is obviously really nice. Next up, we have Dr. Dreidel, the Baltoy, rocking out the Berry Juice, Levitate's ability, Psychic, Shadow Ball, Stealth Rock, and Rapid Spin. Now, this thing is here to get up rocks, check the Larvitar most especially, and keep rocks off the field. We can always take a hit from Abra with our Berry Juice. We always, live a hit, get all the way back up to full, making either Shadow Ball or Rapid Spin it, if we want to try and potentially get fast in that thing. and we like know it's Sash, or just Shadow Ball to guarantee break it, Sash, and kill it if it's not. Which is obviously very nice. Psychic hits my opponent's team very hard as well. Their only Psychic immunity is Zorua, and that's not the sturdiest thing in the world, so it might not even come as well. And you know, we have definitely sufficient checks to that thing in the back. So I think that Baltoy is just a good safety measure versus that Larvitar, which can be a general nuisance without it. I don't switch into it very well without it. And it keeps rocks away for our Volibee and our Snover to do work, which obviously in the first two members we're bringing a pretty Stealth Rock League team so far. Next up, we have our Chinchou rocking out with the Eviolite. Water Absorb is its ability, Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Volt Switch, and Scald. Very, very simple moveset. We're pretty physically defensive on this set to check things like Corphish and Krabby and things like that. So we can always, you know, Thunderbolt or Volt Switch on those things and take them out. We check Bergmite very, very well. We can always knock out a Larvitar with the Scald, which is awesome. We can always live an Abra hit, provided we don't take a little bit of chip and it's not Life Orb and things like that. So we have to be careful. And it's honestly a great momentum grabber in this game because nothing wants to switch and take a Volt Switch besides maybe Cottony, and it's another mon that we really do take advantage of. It gives me a free Snover, and that gives me a free Blizzard, which is obviously, you know, super advantageous for me, which is, you know, obviously very good. Next up, we have our Yamask, rocking out with the Berry Juice. Mummy is its ability, Trick Room, Nasty Plot, Shadow Ball, and Energy Ball. Now this thing is here, it's min speed, it's here to try and break through my opponent's team. If we can get up a Nasty Plot and then a Trick Room, we are going to claim a couple kills, or at the very least, heavily dent my opponent's team. Energy Ball is to give me a clean Oko at +2 on the Krabby, on the Corphish, things like that. It also kills most Zoruas at +2 after a little bit of chip, which is very, very nice. My opponent doesn't actually have a Ghost Resist outside of Zorua, which isn't the most sturdy one, that's for sure. So I definitely think that Yamask can be a great early game pivot and, you know, wall breaker to really punch a hole through my opponent's team and force them to kind of leave, you know, force a gap open in their defensive core and things like that, which is awesome. We can set up on a Bergmite pretty freely, which is awesome for, you know, us. Next up, we have our Eevee rocking out with a Life Orb. Adaptability is its ability. Body Slam, Quick Attack, Double Edge, and Baton Pass. Speaking of wall breakers, this thing is the definition of it. Now, if you look at my opponent's team, they have nothing to switch into a Double Edge, minus maybe a Larvitar. But the more chip that we force on Larvitar, the better our endgame versus Scarf Volibee is, because that means it's probably in range of 2 knocks if we do hit it with that first initial Double Edge, which is awesome. Other than that, we just have Body Slam to nab pairs if we get lucky enough. Quick Attack for priority versus things like Abra versus like a set of Corphish or Krabby. Things like that, things that may be potentially faster than us, like a Zorua without Sucker Punch or things like that. And then Baton Passes if we know that the Larvitar is coming in and we want to grab some offensive momentum and not do that damage to it. Though most times I am just going to probably click Double Edge with this thing if I'm in a position where I can. Baton Pass is a way to get on out of there and get into our Chinchou or something of the sort, which is obviously really nice, or the Baltoy or something like that. So that is going to be Eevee. And yeah, that's going to be the squad. I totally forgot to count the number of mons we were doing. But yeah, that's going to be the team. I will be right back with the match. Alright guys, here we are with the battle. As you can see, Rob elected to bring, I thought that was a Metapod and not a Larvitar. I was terrified. So he brought pretty much what we expected minus Zorua. So we have Abra, Larvitar, Bergmite, Cottony, Corphish, and Krabby. Okay, so our designated lead this game is 100% going to be our Volibee. We can U-turn out on literally everything. There's not a Scarf on his team, minus Abra, that really threatens me, and we live a Scarf, Abra, Dazzling Gleam from full 100% of the time. If he leaves Larvitar, that's completely fine. We have a very free Baltoy, which we can go in and spin away as rocks. And yeah, we'll go from there. We'll see what we can do. And the more chip we force on the Larvitar as we U-turn around, stuff like that, and we Double Edge with our Eevee, the easier our Scarf endgame with Volibee can be. So, good luck, have fun to Rob, and hopefully we can take one home this week. So he is going to lead off with Krabby. As we do have our Volibee, and we have a Krabby here. I'll see Wall Breaker. So we don't Oko him with anything, and what I think I want to do is I'm just going to U-turn. I think it's incredibly free versus this thing, just because we still do have a full health Chinchou chilling in the background, in which we will outspeed this thing. Cannot Oko us. As we U-turn, that does not seem to be Eviolite damage. And then from there, we just go Chinchou. As we kind of have to, which makes it a little bit more scary with the Corphish in the back. But honestly, I think we should be fine. He's going to Liquidation. We are Water Absorb, which is really nice. So that's very free. And from here, part of me just wants to Scald, man. But his best switching is definitely Cottony, so I'm just going to Volt Switch. I don't think you risk the Larvitar so early. Yeah, so we're going to Volt Switch on out. We'll see this Cottony's damage. Cottony. Oh, I didn't see how much health it took, but regardless, what is our play? I think our play is to go into Newt and sub up on this thing's face. There's, like, legitimately nothing this thing can do to me. So we get a Newt. Snow Warning is going to pop. And it's going to take a little bit of hail. That definitely looks like Eviolite damage, too. That we did. So, I'm going to sub. It's very free. This thing can't really do too much to me. And, depending on what he wants to go out into, we'll be in a good spot. So, it's going to be Bergmite, and this is fine. We should beat this thing 1v1. So, I'm going to sub down. To a Bergmite. Let's see. Eviolite, we do not 2-hit KO, but it doesn't really break us very well. And we'll see what his best way of hitting us is right here as well. As that doesn't look to be Eviolite, which is honestly very good information to have. So he's gonna go for Stone Edge. That's very interesting. So he was definitely not having. He was definitely prepared for it. I actually didn't even know this thing got Stone Edge. So good bring by Rob. And actually does a lot. So what I'm gonna do is get on the heck out of there. And I think I am gonna go Yugi, and I'm gonna try and put on some offensive pressure with this thing. He's gonna Stone Edge. Did a lot, actually. That was a crit. Okay. Get Mask. Is going to get back up on to full, which is nice. He's also not Ice Body, which is good to know as well. And I'm going to Trick Room. Yeah, I'm going to Trick Room. And we're going to be able to claim some kills here. This puts us in a great spot. So Hail's going to stop, and that's honestly great too. And we should be slower than this thing. We are min speed. And unless he went min speed himself, we'll be in a good spot. I'm going to Nasty Plot in case this thing is juice. Which I'm kind of leaning towards at this point. And he did not bring a Ghost Resist on his team. His only Ghost Resist was actually the... So that's going to do a decent chunk. Won't lie to you. So he was sturdy. Good to know. And we claim a KO here. Which is obviously really nice for us. I think I'll take that. And we're going to Shadow Ball. And yeah, from here, we'll be in a good spot. We're just going to click a +2 Shadow Ball and hopefully nab us our KO. So down goes Bergmite. That's honestly amazing for our Scarfed, what do you call it in the back? 7 HP. Do we die to a Corphish? Corphish. Aqua Jet. We do die to a Corphish Aqua Jet if it's Jolly. But he's not going to go Corphish. He's going to go Cottony. So I'm just going to Shadow Ball. There isn't a resist on this team to this move. So that's what we're going to click. That's what we're going to click. And we should be in a good spot. Into Cottony. This may not knock it out depending on his spread. If he's very Spadef bulky, it will not. But if not, we'll be in a good spot. But he looks like he may be. He looks like he may be. But regardless, our play here is to 150%. Just Shadow Ball this thing. I should have checked how many turns of Trick Room we had left. I was not counting. So we do not knock it out. We get a Spadef drop. That's pretty cool. Pretty epic. Awesome. As we're going to go down, but this gives me a free Snowfur again, doesn't it? As we can get into Snowfur for free. And I want to check. We have a turn of Trick Room left. Part of me just wants to sub. I don't know if this thing can even really break my substitute. Maybe I should have just Blizzarded, in case it is Encore. Maybe I should have Blizzarded and took my KO. That might have been a misplay on my end. Honestly, that might have been a misplay on my end. Maybe I should have done... Yeah. Kind of regretting that, but if he switches out, we're in a good position. Memento. Shit. Okay. Honestly, I feel like it still should be fine at -2. How much do we do to, Core Fish? At -2, if he's Eviolite, after hail damage, we have a small chance, but he has to, hit us, break our sub, and set out, so, like, I think we should be fine. Giga Drain still does a lot. And we have Ice Shard, and then we also have Hail Chip, so I think we should be fine. And that's also assuming that he is Eviolite. If he is Berry Juice, we do a ridiculous amount. So, that's obviously super close. So I'm just going to click Giga Drain. I think it's my only play at this point. Is to click said Giga Drain. It's not enough damage. Shit. Okay. So maybe I should have gone hard Chinchou. Okay, so he's gonna knock off. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go hard Chinchou. I will not die to any hit from this thing. I'm gonna go Chinchou. I don't want to allow him to set up. A +1 knockoff. He is not, what do you call it? Life Orb, which is good to know. So a +1 knockoff does not do enough damage to us. At all. I think it's good to position ourselves in a way in which we don't get smashed by that thing. So he's X-Scissor. That's fine. So I'm just going to Volt Switch here. Yeah, I'm just going to Volt. He could also potentially Scald, but if I don't get the burn, he's DD. I'm in a really bad spot. So yeah, we are going to Volt out. Very clutch. Good stuff. And what I'm going to do is probably go into Newt. Right? Newt can hit Krabby, it can hit Larvitar, and it can break a Sash on the Abra with an Ice Shard. So I think that's definitely our play at this point. Yeah, Newt gives us the best positioning overall, because we just spam Giga Drain versus this entire team at this point. Like, we don't even need to click Blizzard. So if he goes Abra, this is fine, because what I'm going to do is click Ice Shard and break a potential Sash. Just because this thing can be really scary, if it keeps the Sash. If you do a decent chunk, he's going to Psychic. From 21 HP. I mean, regardless, I think I just click Giga Drain here. Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and click Giga Drain. If we, for some reason, don't die to this hit. Great. But we should drop to a Psychic, as we do. And all I need to do is go Volibee and click U-turn. And I'm in a great spot. So we're going to go Volibee into Abra. Focus Sash. And yeah, we just click U-turn. No reason not to. So we are going to U-turn. Reveal that we are Choice Scarfed. Knock out the Abra, which is great. And then from here, I think what I do is I go into my good old Panther 2 here. And we just attack what's in front of us. And it should be a checkmate position unless he is Scarf on his, what do you call it? Scarf on his, what am I forgetting its name? So we're gonna outspeed. Awesome. Unless he's Scarf on his Larvitar is what I meant, but I think that Chinchou should be able to pick up the dub here. Awesome, so the team worked out to perfection. I'll take it. Great use of momentum and just keeping Rob on the back foot and put us in a great spot. So we just have to click Scald, and from there, hopefully win. What? Is that a 5-0, 4-0? Regardless, I think it locks us playoffs, which is the main important thing. And it gives our buddy John Jr. a chance to make playoffs. As Larvitar is going to come out, and I'm just going to Scald this thing. Do 87 million to it. I still have a full health Baltoy in the back as well, which really checks this thing well. I can live a Guts, Flame Orb, Crunch from full, I think. Yeah, and from there. And we also have Quick Attack if he's like some weird Sash set and we don't get a burn. So we are going to Scald. This should knock it out if it's not Sash. Awesome. There we go. GG's to Rob. Very good player. Like I said in the team builder, he was the champion last season. He knocked us off twice there. So very, very cool that we were able to finally take one off in this week of LC Wi-Fi and able to kind of improve our record and stuff like that and lock playoffs. Hopefully, is that? So we DC'd, but that was the game. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed, drop a like, and if you're new here, be sure to drop a sub. It's completely free and it's really easy. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.